تاريخ اللغة العربية, the history of the Arabic language. Arabic belongs to the Semitic family of languages. Some of the members of this language family that are spoken today include Arabic, Aramaic, spoken in relatively small communities, mostly in Iraq and Syria, Amharic, the national language of Ethiopia, Tigray, spoken in Eritrea, and Hebrew, spoken in Israel. Arabic is descended from a language known in the literature as Proto-Semitic. This relationship places Arabic firmly in the Afro-Asiatic group of world languages. Specifically, Arabic is part of the Semitic subgroup of Afro-Asiatic languages. Going further into the relationship between Arabic and other Semitic languages, modern Arabic is considered to be part of the Arabo-Canaanite sub-branch of the Western Semitic languages. In the 6th and 5th centuries BC, Semitic tribes emigrated and founded a kingdom centered around Petra in the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan. These people, now named Nabateans, from the name of one of the tribes, Nebetu, probably spoke an early form of Arabic. In the 2nd century AD, the first known records of the Nabatean alphabet were written in the Aramaic language, which at that time was the language of communication and trade. It included some Arabic alphabet features which continued to evolve. It's separated into two forms, one intended for inscriptions, known as monumental Nabatean, and the other more cursive and hurriedly written and joined letters for writing on papyrus. This cursive form influenced the monumental form more and more and gradually changed into the Arabic alphabet. Pre-Islamic inscriptions in the Arabic alphabet are very few, with only about 5 known for certain. The first recorded text in the Arabic alphabet was written in 512 of the Common Era. It is a trilingual dedication in Greek, Syriac, and Arabic, and was found at Zabad in Syria. Another inscription was found at An-Namara. Here you see a picture of it and the Arabic transcription of the passage. Another Nabatean inscription was found at Jamal. Arabic is an impure abjad writing system. Vowel markings are absent or optional. An impure abjad is a type of writing system where each symbol stands for a consonant, leaving the reader to supply the appropriate vowel. In early writings, even some consonants were indistinguishable from one another. Pre-Islamic texts were written without dots and are therefore very difficult to interpret, particularly for non-Arabic speaking people. Early Arabic writing included no dots. The dots found today in Arabic writing were one of the first innovations that came after the spread of Islam into non-Arab lands. These dots made it clear what consonant was to be pronounced. Before the dots, native speakers of Arabic read the text without any dots. They could do this through experience and by using the context to differentiate between words that sound different and look the same. Rasm was used from the 7th to the 11th century Common Era. Essentially, it is the same as today's Arabic script, except that dots are omitted. It is also known as Arabic skeleton script. In Rasm notation, the 5 distinct letters, ba, ta, tha, nun, and ya, are indistinguishable because all of the dots are omitted. Rasm means drawing. outline, or pattern in the Arabic language. When speaking of the Quran, it stands for the basic text made of 18 letters without vowel diacritics and without ijam, consonant pointing. The need arose for a rigid orthography or writing system with no ambiguity in the 7th century due to the influx of non-native speakers trying to read the language. With new converts unused to reading Arabic, mistakes were made while reading religious texts. Words pronounced incorrectly could easily distort the meaning of the Holy Quran. To ensure the language remained intact, as well as to keep the pronunciation of the Quran correct, rulers introduced the ijam, whereby dots and indicators were added to individual letters to help with pronunciation and to differentiate them from those based on the same form. First, the dots were added. Later on, signs to indicate vowels were introduced in the same manner and for the same reasons. Ijam refers to adding points or dots to a consonant in order to improve clarity and understanding. Early texts, such as the Quran, were initially written without consonant pointing or ijam. In this diagram, you can see the difficulty that could happen without ijam. In the top row, you see 3 different words, but they all look exactly the same because there are no dots added to the words. In the second line, with diacritical points, you can see how the words change. The first one would be pronounced hebel, which means rope. The second one, khabal, which means dementia. And the third one, jebel, which means mountain. In this diagram, you can see the rasam, or the letters written without any sort of pointing or diacritics. In the second line, you have the points added, the ijam. In the third line, you have both the ijam as well as tashkil, or the diacritic vowel markers that go above and below the line. And finally, in the fourth line, you have decorative elements added. The diacritic markings added to the Arabic language to assist with pronunciation of vowels are known as tashkil. The harakat, or vowel markers, serve 2 main purposes. First, they indicate the presence of short vowels, feta, kasra, and dhamma. And secondly, at the last letter of a word, the vowel marker reflects the inflection case or conjugation mood. The literal meaning of tashkil is forming, as the normal Arabic text does not provide enough information about the correct pronunciation. The main purpose of tashkil is to provide a phonetic guide or a phonetic aid to show the correct pronunciation. According to tradition, the first commission of a system of harakat was under Muawiyah I of the Umayyad dynasty, when he ordered Ziyad ibn Abi, his wali in Basra, who governed from 664 to 673 of the Common Era, to find someone who would devise a method to transcribe correct reading. Ziyad ibn Abi in turn appointed Abul Aswad ad-Duwali for the task. Abul Aswad devised a system of dots to signal the 3 short vowels. This system of dots predates the ijam. Dots were used to distinguish between different consonants. Abul Aswad's system of harakat was different from the system we know today. His system used red dots with each arrangement or position indicating a different short vowel. A dot above a letter indicated the vowel a or feta. A dot below indicated the vowel E or I, Kesra, and a dot on the side of the letter stood for the vowel U, Dhamma, and 2 dots stood for Tenween. In the first line, you see the skeleton script or Resum. In the second line, you see the script with Abul Aswad's dot system for vowels. Here, the dots do not point the consonants, but are actually vowel markers. This system changed. In the third line, you see the points indicating the consonant markers and the red dots indicating the vowel markers. And finally, you see the system that we have today with dots and tashkil. The system that we use today was founded by al-Farahidi. Al-Farahidi found that the task of writing using 2 different colors was both tedious and impractical. Another complication was that the ijam had been introduced by then, which, while they were short strokes rather than the round dots seen today, meant that without a color distinction, the 2 could become confused. In this diagram, you can see the different vowel markers that are used in Arabic script today, known as tashkil. First we have feta, then kasra, dhamma, sukun, shadda, tenween feta, tenween kasra, tenween dhamma, and alif med, and wasla. In this diagram, we have the letter Sin with each of the short vowels to show how the pronunciation works. In the first one, we have Sin with feta, and it's pronounced sa. Sin with dhamma, su. Sin with kasra, si. And sin with sukun, sa. Over the past millennium, the Arabic script itself remained relatively consistent, with few changes. So much so that texts written 1,000 years ago are easily read and understood today. The modern Arabic alphabet consists of 28 consonants, which are formed from 17 shapes. Tashkil is optional and is used primarily for religious texts and elementary level school books. Books and newspapers are generally unvoweled.